Well, hello, good morning, viewers. Welcome to Primal Prepper. If you are new or if you are a regular viewer, I'm going to talk about a unique event which is going on at the moment. As preppers, we get ourselves ready for the unforeseen, the things we have gut feelings for. Yes, some of us might only be prepping for a winter storm. Others might be prepping for an end of the world society. I'm driving, by the way. I'm stuck in traffic, so I thought I'd take this moment to do the video. But yeah, currently in the Western developed world, we have an event unfolding. It's over in America. I don't know if you've ever heard about it. No, obviously you've heard about America. I'm not being that thick, but I don't know if you've heard of this thing called SNAP. Now, over in America, they have this thing called SNAP, and it basically is a food benefit system. Yeah. Which apparently about 20 to 25% of their population is on, of which only 30-ish% of that is American. So there you go. If you're from England, you know we have our own similar problems like that. But I'm not here to talk about the politics. I'm not here to talk about like if it's right or wrong that they've been denied their SNAP, because that's what's happening. They're not being denied their SNAP. They have no right for it, really. It's a gift from the government to the people. But it's there because of the government shutdown in America, because they can't actually agree on anything, because you have the two sides of the house and one side don't like the other side, so whatever the other side says, the other side says no to it, and it keeps ending up in a stalemate. I hope you can hear me over the car engine and everything, or the van engine. Now, this SNAP is meaning that there's a massive group of people who relied on the government handout to feed their families, to feed their children, and probably there is a smaller group of people who relied on this handout to make money. They were quite capable. They have other means, illicit means of getting money, and they use the SNAP benefit because they're doing illicit things. Means they're not showing up on the real radar for the government. So it's I can claim this SNAP benefit, and then they're selling the food, probably at an inflated price to the needy. But again, we're not talking about this. We're talking about actually watching it unfold. This is going to be creating riots. This is going to be creating food poverty. This is going to be showing you, especially if it goes on longer. This is like the second month now they haven't received their benefits. So this is going to show you what civilized people are willing to do to survive. Okay, now, as I said, there's going to be some illicit people, some people who are like shady characters. They may not actually get too involved in this. And there's going to be the good, honest, hard-working American who fell on hard times and is now suffering from the fact that they're not getting their bailout anymore. They're probably not going to do anything. They probably went ages before like applying for the SNAP, and then are still trying to work really hard to get off the benefits. But there will be a group of people who just feel that they deserve things for free, and they will go out, and apparently from the news reports I've been watching, it's already started happening. These people are going into shops and just helping themselves to things because they believe it's theirs. They believe they want it. And in a breakdown of society situation, it does tend to be the survival of the fittest. The strongest group rules over because they've got the strength, they've got the ability. Now, they're currently not quite at that stage, but this group who is going in and helping themselves, they have got the balls to do it. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. Now, if you've always been on the fringe of prepping, if you've never really thought about an end of the world scenario you have to get ready for, it doesn't have to be an end of the world scenario. Yeah, all it has to be is a government not being able to afford something they said they could afford, and they stop handing out money. Okay, So it could be a local thing. Get yourself ready for it. You might end up on one of these systems one day. You might be relying on that handout, and then all of a sudden, if it stops, have you got the stuff to survive it? Have you got like the extra food built up? Yeah, obviously, I think the figures are every day you get a $7 something allowance for this snap. Every person, $7 something to buy your food. Now, obviously, you're thinking, Jesus, I can't buy much food with $7. Well, no, that's probably true. You can't, not unless you're savvy and you think about it, and you use one day to buy yourself a big bag of rice and then another day to buy yourself a load of beans, and you go to the so-called prepper survival diet and things like that. It's probably doable. Now, you can also go out there and get your own garden growing. Yeah, from that $7 one day, you can use let's say about $4 of it to buy some seeds. It's a long-term investment. Yeah, maybe you're not going to bother doing this because you're thinking, well, hopefully I'll be off it by the time those seeds grow, but you might not be. Okay, with every crisis and every thing you may be prepping for, you have to prep for the fact that it will never go back to how it was. Things never go back to how it was. Just look back in history. We have very little of it around. We don't have people walking around in shining armour anymore. We don't have people living out in the woods. Well, we do. We have both of them. We have like reenactment things and stuff like that. But it's not the population. It's not the majority. It's a minority. And they're not doing it because it's life. They're doing it because it's something they like doing. Okay? So, just get on the medias. Don't use the mainstream media. Trust me, the American news reports will not want to be showing this to the rest of the world. Well, would you? Would you want to air your dirty laundry in public? No. So get onto the YouTube channels. Get onto American-based news channels on YouTube, or watch on your social media accounts, whatever social media accounts you have, and they will be biased, and you can actually get around this bias yourself by looking for both sides of the party. Yeah, looking for both sides of the argument, watching both sides of the argument, weighing it up yourself, not just taking one person's gospel word for it. Okay, so it's, as I said, it's an interesting. I know I'm talking about millions of people's lives, yeah, and I'm calling it an interesting experiment. But for me, I'm not over there. For me, I'm not part of it. I'm watching from the outside. So for me, it's an interesting experiment. It's going to be interesting to see how bad it gets, and it's going to show you what your neighbours will be like after a month of no food. After a couple of weeks of no food. Yeah, at the end of the day, we are all just animals, and it is only our social and moral beliefs which stop us from being animalistic. Okay, when a child is born, it has no concept. We teach it to be civilized. If you left that child, you literally had it in a room and gave it food and water, and I know again I'm talking really bad ethics here, but it will grow up wild. If you put that child with a group of apes, again I know it's bad ethics I'm talking about here, but it would grow up how the apes grow up, because that's how it was taught, and that is the crux of it. When our society collapses, when our morals start getting overruled by our hunger, when we're sitting there watching our children starve, we are likely to do things we would never have dreamt of doing. Women will be out there selling their own flesh. Men will be out there killing other men for a packet of crisps. Okay, and women will be out there doing it. Children will be out there doing it. Yeah, anyone who has the energy to keep doing things like that will keep doing things like that. Yeah, the urge to survive is the strongest and hardest thing to overcome within the human psyche. So just bear that in mind. hopefully you heard it all. Hopefully the sound of the engine weren't too bad. Hopefully you think about signing up and joining my small little prepping channel. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. Say your piece on this. If you're from America, let me know how it's affecting you. That'd be fantastic. If you're from other countries, let me know how the food situation is like in your country. Okay, there's a hype button. If you press that hype button, that will do so much for my tiny little channel. It will be unbelievable, and I thank you greatly for that. Until the next time you're watching one of my videos from Primal Prepper, just remember, don't be scared, be prepared.